struggles,
innovation,
going all in,
not holding back,
mindset,
being a leader,
paving their own way,
putting the real in real estate,
listing legacies, selling luxury. You have The Vault.
unlocking conversations in real estate today.
We're live with The Vault. I'm your host, Jessica Hastings-Lesbrance, and let me introduce you to my co-host, Alexa Miller.
Hey everyone, welcome back. Today I'm very excited to introduce Nick Pope. Nick has been a realtor for 6 years and is the founder of the Northern Estates Group. He successfully closes 20 to 30 deals each year on his own, servicing all avenues of real estate from condos in Kitchener-Waterloo to luxury cottages in Muskoka. He currently resides in St. Jacobs with his wife and 3 children. So welcome, Nick. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Woo-hoo.
So we'll just get started with, just tell us a bit about yourself and your background.
So my name's Nick Pope, and I started real estate 6 years ago with Remax Real Estate Center, and shortly after, I joined a team with the Caldwell team, and then had made a switch to a brokerage, Trillium West Real Estate Brokerage here in Kitchener, and went out on my own, and recently left there and joined EXP Realty and founded the Northern Estates Real Estate Group. That's kind of the work side. Other than that, just father of 3 and busy.
Yeah, that's good. So how did you, what made you get into real estate? What did you do before?
Yeah, so my life's a little bit different. I had a child quite young, so I was working nights at a home hardware distribution center in St. Jacobs, while my wife was working at Guelph General as a nurse. Always loved real estate, always had interest in it, but having a child young, I needed to be paid every 2 weeks to be able to support for the family. So I worked nights, and then during the day, I would study for real estate.
Yeah, I think that goes to show how strong your why is. I know we talk about it a lot. Like that why pulls you through, working nights, having a child. That's busy and hard, and you made it through.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't easy, but I think, nowadays it's definitely, like you said, a good motivation for me that I know that, when everyone was asking me, man, what are you doing? Like, you're sleeping 3 hours a day. I was taking an hour's sleep in my truck before work, just to, get an extra hour because I was only sleeping 3-4 hours and this went on for about 5 years. I did this. So, but yeah, when you have an end goal, and in my case, I had a daughter at home that I just wasn't willing to, give up. And everything that I kept saying to myself during that time was, she deserves better. She deserves, I don't want her, to get older and then that, I look at her and go, hey, dad's still working nights. You want to know why? Because I quit. Something like that. So that definitely. So
that's pretty powerful.
I love your story. Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that.
So you've only been licensed like 6 years is a long time, but not at the same time. And you've made some big leaps in your career over that time frame. So tell us a bit about how you went from being on a team to going on your own with another company and then starting your own group.
Mm-hmm. This is a huge topic.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah. So when I first started, I didn't know anything, to be honest with you. I had no idea. I had a friend that I played hockey with. His name was Jacob Caldwell, and he just got into real estate. He had the Caldwell team with himself, his mom, and his wife. And he said, come join us. I'll get you started. So I learned a ton from him, truthfully, on what to do, but what not to do, what I liked, what I didn't. I didn't know anything. He knew the showing times. He knew everything. So I owe a lot to Jacob. He still is a realtor today and still is very good at his job. When I decided to go on my own, I had done about, I want to say 8 to 10 deals in my first year, and they were all generated from myself. So I had joined a team, but he didn't really give me any of those leads. So
Good for you. That's not easy.
Yeah, no.
Right?
yes, so I kind of looked at my business, and at that point I had just and I don't, I took the choice, I took the chance. So I quit my night's job. I cashed in all my RSPs. I took everything and went, okay, I got 3 months of my mortgage payment, or we were renting an apartment, of rent and everything right now. I need to know, I got to make a deal in those 3 months, or we're in trouble.
Right.
So for me, doing those 8 to 10 deals, it wasn't so much about that. It was more, okay, like, am I willing to bet on myself? So the number one thing that I, believe in real estate, or give advice to people is, if you're not willing to bet on yourself, how can you ask other people to bet on you or to hire you? Right? So if they're going to put their trust in you, they need to know that you're putting, 100% trust in yourself. And I think that's the most important thing in real estate of my career, of where I went, was when I left Jacob Caldwell and went to Trillium West. That's what it was all about. It was about, okay, I'm going to this new boutique kind of brokerage that I didn't really know anyone, only 2 people, but I was putting 100% trust into myself, being like, okay, I can do this. I just did, 8 to 10 deals. I want to hit 20, and I'm going to now have a full year by myself. But, for these people to trust me, I need to tell them and show them that I'm putting 100% into Nick Pope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's believing in yourself, right? And that when you do that, other people just sense it. And they
for
believe
sure.
it. They believe in you too.
So
Yeah.
8 to 10 deals in your first year without the help of your team is huge. So can you talk a little, like, where did those deals come from for any new realtors listening? Where did those deals come from that you were able to do all that on your own?
Yeah, so out of the deals was definitely, it helped having a child, to be honest. There was a lot of times that I was like working nights, but I was still coaching her in hockey. Any second that I had, like, I was coming in with a dress shirt on one day, the next time coming in, working nights, barely having my eyes open. So people were always interested in what I was doing, but everything, those 8 to 10 deals were from me playing junior hockey all the way to working nights. Before I left Home Hardware, I made sure that I worked with, there were 500 or 1,500 people on my shift, right? Working 11 to 7 in every building. I made sure that I went around to every single person and told them that I had my real estate license.
Wow.
Right. I made sure
I love it.
That's where I was already thinking, okay, where am I getting my first deal? And one of my first deals was a girl that I worked nights with, who was a really good friend of mine. And she came out, and I had got my license, and I was just quitting, I believe. And, I helped her buy something.
Yeah. It's the power of asking, right? The power of telling people what we're doing. So they actually know, hey, he's a realtor. Maybe we should consider his business.
Yeah. And I'm sure also, you obviously exude so much confidence that even though you were new, she didn't care. She trusted you as a person, and that was your first deal. Like, there you go.
Yeah, I remember her saying something to me, and she said, I we've all been there, and I've had people say, "Oh, I didn't use you because I either thought you were too busy, or I didn't know if you were an expert in what I was doing. You had just got your license, or something like that." I remember her saying to me, "I watched you go through this journey, pretty much like sleeping to studying, 15-minute breaks and so on, and I knew that yes, you didn't have maybe the expertise that the other person had or another agent had, but I knew that if you didn't know the answer, you were going to find out what it was."
Yeah.
And I think that's the most important, right? Especially when you're a new agent and you're thinking about joining a team, or you're thinking about doing it yourself, is what are you doing if you're not showing a property?
Yeah. Oh my God, this is the best question, because they always think, what do people do?
Yeah.
What are they doing?
Yeah.
How are they growing their business? I don't know.
That's it. And there's a difference in this is where I think, real estate and different people have spoke about it, and in different mindsets is like, what is, to me, it's not always the question of, what are you doing to grow your business, but what are you doing for, not this year, next year, right? I guess it's still kind of the same as growing your business, but I look at it as more not just for yourself or the business wise, but what are you doing to show people that other people trust you? That's the biggest question,
Your
right?
growth.
Is when they go,
Yeah.
so I think that's quite important.
It is. Yeah, we always need to be learning, education, knowledge, and it's a vision of ourselves too, right? I love dream people with big vision, because they have like, I have goals, I'm hitting them, I'm family, business, whatever it is, right?
Yep. And they're doing something to get there. They're not just sitting behind the desk in the office, twiddling their thumbs.
Yes, because that means they're learning through experiences, and I like working with people who are experienced.
Yep, absolutely. So speaking of goals, what are some of your goals within this business?
Yeah. So in with Northern Estates Group, I've my goals have changed very quickly when I founded this company and started talking to my business partner Scott Wilton about this vision I had with Northern Estates Group. My goal is to have, I don't have the exact number of agents that I would like to work with or anything like that, but I would like to have a group of, a group of people, like-minded agents, that are experts in different areas. So whether it's Kitchener-Waterloo, Collingwood, Blue Mountain, Muskoka, Huntsville, Dorset, like wherever that office is, I want to have it a small boutique, like-minded agents that, we're all very good at what we do. And whether you come to Northern Estates Group, when you work with us, it's not, all about the numbers, but, it's about the relationships. And that's, I think I did 34 deals, 37 last year, something like that. In I want to say 20, I forget the exact number, but I think 27 or 28, honestly, were all referrals.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
So my entire business, almost 90% or even higher, are referral based, because everything is a relationship to me.
Yeah, that says a lot.
It does, and it shows the value of the business. Like, we're always taught and we teach referrals. Like you people, we don't need to go search and find new business every time.
Yeah.
What was the one stat? In one deal, it's 3 to 4 transactions. Like, think about that.
Yeah.
Why are we going out and searching for all this new business when really the relationship with the people are already there?
Yeah.
They want us.
And that's the highest compliment you can get as a realtor, to get a referral from someone. So the fact that you had 27 plus just in referral business last year, it says a lot about you and your business.
The customer care and definitely taking part. I have a few questions. Can we jump when you were working with the Caldwell team and then you left? Any viewers out there, I know I get this a lot, and there's always fear around leaving a brokerage that you're at and going somewhere else or joining a team, being an individual, whatever it is. Can you speak to that? Because I could imagine how maybe it feels risky, maybe there's fear around it. So what can you speak to that?
Yeah, 100%. My wife's the first person to tell you that she's told me not to do it. She was like, you know what? She was like, what? You're leaving Jacob? Like he's your friend. You just like 1 year and you think you're an expert? Like, she was.
I hear this all the time.
Yeah, she was the first person that was like, you're an idiot, right? Like, not a chance.
Our spouses always mean well, don't they?
Yeah, right. Like, I just, so there was a lot of people that doubted me and things like that. But you know what? The best way to explain it in my eyes is kind of that goes back to when I decided that I was going to leave Jacob. It was overwhelming, but it's like any other business sort of. And the way I looked at it was, the first you become, an assistant manager, but then you go to the manager, right? Mm-hmm. Or anything like that in a business. You start at one place and you go to the next. I believe in anything that conversations and surrounding yourself with like-minded people, that you're going to learn something every single day.
Right.
And knowledge is power in my eyes. Mm-hmm. Right? Knowledge is how we become better humans, how we become better at our jobs, all of those things. So a big part of me was why when I left and I went to Toronto West was there was like 28 agents in Kitchener and Waterloo that, all of these agents, most of them were doing 30 to 80 deals a year, right? There were some agents that were doing 15 to 20, but that's who I wanted to surround myself with. That's who I wanted to learn from, right? And so I wanted to be in a room every single day with different agents that were doing that kind of business, because I knew that they would need help and that they would maybe, pass some business to me, but also I wanted to hear what they were doing during the day.
And teaching you, yeah.
Exactly. So I think that is the most important. It's not so much, even with Northern Estates Group, when I went to EXP Realty, there's a whole lot of benefits with EXP, but to me, it's about the brand name, and that's Northern Estates Real Estate Group.
Yeah.
Right. I truly believe in our industry that I could put any other name behind Northern Estates Group. And if I did a survey, let's say I sent out 150 emails, I think 30 of them might notice the name behind.
Yeah, I agree. We talk about this all the time. Mm-hmm. Most often when we get clients, they're like, sorry, what's the name?
Yeah. What's the brokerage name?
Who is that?
You.
Well, I don't know what that means.
Yeah, so exactly.
100%.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially the referral base, right?
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
They're not worrying about at the end of the day who your brokerage is. They just want to know who they're in business with.
Exactly.
That's you.
If you're, the best advice I can say, if you're thinking about, making a shift and you're anywhere near Kitchener-Waterloo, or, go interview with Trillium West. Mm-hmm. Right? I will say that. Go interview with Trillium West. They have a great learning. They're great for new agents. But then, give me a call. Sit down with me. Then, call, Milltown Group. Like there's all these different people, but sit down with a group of 3, 4, 5 different people. And really, I think, a part of my side of when you're looking at a brokerage, remember that you're interviewing them.
Yeah. Yeah. When we
coach, I think that's the most important.
It is. We actually give out questions that we recommend people asking to interview brokerages.
Yeah.
We have
amazing.
Yeah. And it's so important because when I started interviewing agents, they're not asking the right questions.
Yeah.
So we started coaching them. You should be asking X, Y, and Z. So when you go to your next interview, you need to be asking them these questions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I agree.
It's important.
So Northern Estates Group covers a very broad area. Like I said in your bio, you're in KW, you're in St. Jacobs, but you're also you're up in Muskoka.
Yeah.
So how
do you manage it all?
Yeah. How do you manage it all? What do you want to do that broad of an area?
Yeah.
Like what made you open to all different markets?
Yeah. How do you service that location?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's the number one question I get.
You're laughing on the other end. You're like, okay.
Yeah, is they literally say, how do you have a wife and 3 kids and do this?
Yeah.
And the number one answer is, I love what I do. I love real estate. I love seeing different houses. I love seeing different properties. How do I manage it is number one thing is I have an incredible admin staff. I have one girl. Her name is Shaylin. She is incredible. She is marketing. She is paperwork. She is behind the state. Like Northern Estates Group does not run without her. Scott Wilton is my business partner. Again, he is incredible. You have to surround yourself with people that it doesn't matter if it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, they're working, right? Those people are putting in 100% just like you are. Yes, we're all over. So Scott Wilton, he's from Collingwood, Blue Mountain, Flesherton. He's from Flesherton area. So he, deals with a lot of the buyers up in that area where we just recently sold a place in Thornbury on Laura Bay, just set the record on Sunset Boulevard from across the water. So recently just sold a place there. Muskoka. I'm actually, Northern Estates, we're going to be looking for someone to join Northern Estates Group that wants to take the lead up in that area with referrals and, business up there and possibly, branch into an office or something that way. So it is tough, but again, like I said, the number one thing is referrals. So if I help someone purchase something and they say, hey, I'm, especially in Kitchener-Waterloo, people's cottages or rentals are all in Collingwood, Blue Mountain or Muskoka. So if they say, hey, I really like working with you, I trust you, everything, will you go here? The toughest thing to do is to refer that.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's the hardest thing to do is say, hey, there's certain things that I can do, but it's believing and it's building those relationships with agents. So I have really good relationships with different agents in different areas that if I need a hand or have questions or anything like that, I pick up the phone and make a call.
Right.
So I think that's the most important in our industry, that people kind of forget that, we're all agents, we're all in the business. We can, pick up the phone and not everyone is out to get our business.
Yeah.
There's enough for everyone. That's for
There
sure.
really is. Sometimes when you meet some agents and they do come across that way, they're so eager, and sometimes they forget, at the end of the day, you need to go home and be happy
Mhm.
and just, enjoy the journey and love yourself and your family, and the business always comes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not what's that mindset? A scarcity mindset versus a fulfillment mindset, right?
Right.
Shifting that mindset.
Mhm.
And I agree with that.
To that point, it's very much everything we do and everything I focus on is based on clients' relationships, but also the time that we put into it, right? So if there's times that I show a property and they go, no, Nick, I only want to work with you, right? No, I don't. Excuse me, I don't want your partner Scott to show me that house. I really like the way you look at things.
Right.
Yeah.
So I know I have to be there for every single showing, right? Sometimes, I'm showing 6 to 8 houses. My clients know that I may not know every little single thing about that house that I'm looking at. But before I have them sign on the dotted line, if they are interested in putting an offer in on that house, I will know everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the most important, or not the most important, but I think that's an important piece of our industry that people, I've had a few conversations lately with agents that, have talked about maybe, joining Northern Estates Group. And a lot of it's like, well, you show me your schedule and you have like 6 showings here and you have showing over here, or you have a meeting here. How do you prepare for all those showings? How do you know what year the furnace is and everything? And I think, there's a difference between going in there and being educated and knowing the area and doing all that. And there's a difference between, being an overwhelmed realtor.
Yeah. Oh, people can pick up on it for sure.
Mm-hmm.
You got to feel grounded. This is why I teach yoga.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
Very
funny.
good.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Nick, for joining us today. It was great to have you. And where can our listeners find you?
Yeah, so you can find us on Instagram, or our website is www.northernstatesgroup.com, or they can email me at nickpope@popesproperty.com, or my cell number. I'm always available on phone.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
And that's the vault.